This week someone asked me if I could write 5 life commandments, what would they be? So today we're going to talk about 5 life commandments for the youth of America.
Doors closing.
Number 1. Now, so many of my life lessons come from the Bible, so in order to not over-spiritualize this list, I'll just say that number 1 encapsulates a lot of different things, and that is have the right attitude and the right heart toward the things of God. And I'm not going to over-spiritualize it, but I won't generalize it either. I'm talking about the God of the Bible, Jesus Christ, the one true Savior of the universe who gave his life a ransom for the propitiation of sins, for the sins of the whole world. And you need his wisdom. You need his guidance. You need his favor, because we all get into things that we ain't got no business being in, and we need help. And it's better to have God's favor on your life than to be sowing a bunch of blasphemy and just a bunch of ignorance, and to have his face set against you. So yeah, you need God's favor. Number 2. My number 2 life commandment for America's youth would be choose your spouse after vigorous and rigorous research and information is found on that person. This is the second most important decision that you're going to make in your life, next to giving your life to Christ. And your spouse is there to counsel you, to help you, and for so many other different reasons. And many marriages fail just because essentially you didn't know the person. You didn't know the person like you thought you knew them. And you really want to make sure that you have that squared away. Don't walk into a marriage high on infatuation and what you think is love. And make sure you understand what love is. Choose your spouse wisely. Choose your spouse wisely, because think about it. You're going into life with all of these goals and aspirations that you have, and the person that you have along the first, let's say, 10 or 15 years is ultimately gonna take it away from you, because y'all not gonna last. That's not what you want. And you never want to go into a marriage with the door open for it not lasting. You don't want to go into marriage even thinking about that. So you need to make sure that you know the person. Make sure you know the person well. Number 3 would be get serious about your health before the age of 40. Don't wait till you're in your 40s and your 30s or even in your 50s to start trying to play catch up on your body. Do it now. Invest in your health. Invest, because you're investing in your future as a young person. Invest in your health right now, because what you sow now, you're going to reap later. And a lot of old people are miserable, and a lot of that has to do with health. Their knees are bad. They can't stop these headaches. They can't stop these hot flashes. Their back been hurting them for 15 years. They just got a new hip, and all these heart conditions and stuff. It's got a lot to do with why old people can be so miserable sometimes, and you don't want to be that. Why go into life with a bunch of misery and go into your golden years with a bunch of misery? No, start working out and eating right. At least make an attempt on this thing now. Start making a lifestyle, make it a culture now. That way you present that culture in front of your children later, and you got a whole culture in your tribe, in your home, in your posterity, that's a bunch of people that eat good and they live good, they feel good, and there's just good vibes coming from you because you eat good and you just live in this whole wellness, because wellness is like richness or something like that, right? Number 5. This is kind of like 2 in 1, but to me they go together. Start saving money as soon as possible with zero intention on spending it ever. And make sure you got good credit. Take care of your credit at all costs. We'll start with number 4A. Save the money with zero intent on spending it. Look, it's gonna be a great thing one day when you can tell a job you don't need them, and it actually be true. Like, put your money away. Nothing that you can do today is worth being broke tomorrow. It's just not. I want you to listen to this list with the mind frame of my goals are ahead of me and I have my whole life ahead of me. So if you start saving money right now, saving anything you need right now, and you're gonna have more of it later. And again, have zero intention on spending it. It's just there. It's just there. So if you 17, 18 years old, when you get 25, let's say you've been saving $500 a year for 8 years. I mean, you do the math. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it may not be much, but you can stand to tell somebody, well, you know what? I think I'm gonna go in this direction now in my professional career, or I don't like it here, and so I think I could flourish elsewhere. And you can stand that. You can stand to take that L for a minute because you've been saving money. I mean, I know people that's got 30 grand just sitting there, just because they've been really diligent with their money, and that's what you want to do. But also credit. Credit is very important. It's vital, man. It's vital. It's just the game that you have to play that opens doors in America. It is what it is. It's not fair, but it's a very simple game to play if you know the rules. And guard your credit at all costs. Don't let people get stuff in your name. If you old enough to understand what's going on, don't let your mama get stuff in your name if you know she ain't gonna pay for it. Or none of your father, your parents, regardless. I mean, don't let them do that kind of stuff. And you don't do it. Don't you go out there just swiping credit cards, trying to live the life that you've seen on social media and keep up with them. No, take care of your credit. Live within your means, take care of your credit, save your money. You can buy a house at 25 years old if you play this game the correct way. When you out of high school and you going into college, or just graduating college, I should say, you could be done bought a house if you play this game the right way. Don't be spending all frivolous, and especially if you don't have kids at this time, don't just live life and frolic around because you can. Be smart with your money. You never know what investment is gonna come up later that you will be able to be a part of, and be a significant investor, you know, and that'll give you more clout with whatever situation you got. You never know what emergency might come up. You never know what opportunity might present itself. And because you chose to not chase what you're seeing on social media and just trying to live life and consume on your lust, you were prepared. And that's what this is all about. In your youth, you should be preparing for your golden years. I truly believe that, and this is vital. These two things, I'm making them one commandment because I honestly do think that they go together hand in hand, and you'll be glad you did. My number 5 life commandment for the youth of America would be never own a car note. Don't do it. Don't do it unless you have $100,000 a year or more job, or no kids, or both, or you know what I'm saying. Don't do it. I know I just, on the other commandment, I said you can build your credit, but there's other ways you can build your credit. You can go out there and get a vehicle, a good working vehicle, for a fraction of the cost of that new vehicle that you just think is so nice, and you want to roll around and stunt with your friends, or just look like you got some kind of status. You could get a decent enough car and be moving from point A to point B. And when times get hard, you don't have to worry about somebody coming to take your vehicle. You don't have to worry about not being able to make a car payment. You be set. You be still rolling. You be still getting to your job, even though you're driving in a bucket. At least you can get to work, and you can pay for the gas to get to work every day, and you can pay your maintenance fees. Because honestly, a lot of times maintenance fees come out of nowhere, and they cost about the same amount as a car note. So that's just one burden that you don't have to have. I read a book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and one of the main things that stuck out to me was assets and liability. Assets and liability, and the car is only a liability. It's not, I mean, if you own your car, it can be an asset because everything you're making, let's say you spend $3,500 on a used car. Well, you go to work for a month, and you can pay, you've already made your money back off that car, and everything else, it's all profit for you. And you'll never have to worry about hitting hard times or losing your job and somebody having to come and take your car. The main thing you want as a young adult is you want a way to get to work every day, and you want to continue to have a job. So that way you can prosper. At that point, whatever low you may hit, money probably could fix. And if it's worse than what money could fix, then you got even deeper problems. So that's what you want to do. I mean, at that point, you be well prepared to move as a young American. You got a job, and you got a vehicle to get to that job every day. But if you got a car note, it's just money that you shelving out. Even if they give you a good rate on it, $200 a month, $300 a month, it's money that you could be saving. And that's just my personal opinion. The only asterisk I would maybe put on this is, like, if you make 6 figures, then probably if you at that point, you're not gonna hit hard times that often, or unless you have dual incomes. If you and your spouse can take care of the situation. I mean, honestly, if it was me, I still wouldn't get a car note, but I could see it being a little bit more manageable. And then, even then, don't get more than one. If I had to finalize this thing, I would say don't get a car note. Don't do it. I mean, because think about it. If you set between the ages of 17 and 25, maybe 30 years old, you can get a decent car. And then by the time you cross the 30 threshold, you've been so financially sound and economically smart with your money. Now you can go purchase a car, and it wouldn't be a hindrance to you because you've worked your way up to that. But to just get a car so you can look good, so you can have some kind of status, to me that's foolish. You're shoving out money every month, unless again you have a job that you can take care of it. And if you make less than 6 figures, it's just, this is in my opinion, it's not a smart thing to do. Because even if you're making 80,000 a year, 90,000 a year, 70,000 a year, that same 2, 3, 4, sometimes even 500 a month, depending on how your credit is, you could be saving it every month. You could be saving it. That could be working towards something else. And then you look up, you done saved $300 a month all year. Now that's close to $4,000, you know what I'm saying? That you could be putting towards something else. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense to me. So that's my list, y'all. 5 life commandments for the youth of America. Some other issues I probably would have touched on in this list, but this is just 5 off the top of my head, you know, just the things I feel like are a good foundation, which would again be, you need to know who the one true God is, and you need to have a heart for him and toward him. Choose your spouse wisely, save your money, and keep good credit. Don't get a car note, and get serious about your health. Yeah, and that's not even in order. I forgot the order, but whatever, man. I think that'll help you. So yeah, I'm Isaiah Gates, and you've been watching the Subway Train, the modern Underground Railroad.
Doors closing.